shirts and pants. It's a little corny and obvious, but what do you get out of being so, right?
Well, that's a hell of a good project.
And boom, we're live. Welcome, folks, to the American Movie Podcast. If you've never been here before, welcome aboard. I go through movies, news, documentaries, Netflix series, Netflix originals, and I do trailer reactions. And today, I'm happy to bring this one to you. It is called The Perfect Bid, and it revolves around The Price is Right. I love The Price is Right. I love Bob Barker. He's in this. And Drew Carey. He's also in this. Not biased towards either one. They're both great in their own separate ways. Anyways, I went and saw The Price is Right maybe a couple years ago, and I was always a big fan. And I was just blown away at like the size of the I guess you say the theater or whatever, game show room that they were in. And it was it was relatively small. There's 1,000 lights above you. Probably 8 to 10 giant cameras swinging around. And then there's like an applause guy, like a producer. And he's like, hey, applaud. You got to applaud right now. So it was a little funky in that way. And we waited for a good 3 to 4 hours before even setting foot inside the studio that is known as Drew's Castle. So this is about Ted Slauson. Ted Slauson watched The Price is Right when he was a young lad. And he was smitten by it. He was hooked on it, and he started watching it over and over and over, and he had a unique mind. He started collecting all of the data and recording every episode and memorizing each individual item with its own exclusive options via a program that he created on the computer. It even had, the Price is Right theme song. It had the Price is Right text. It had each individual Price is Right game and all the rules. So he coded this game that he could practice over and over and over, all while he was creating this giant data set of items that The Price is Right uses. And he used this all the way up until he was 18, and then he went to it, and then he attended another 36 times throughout his life. And this is a huge lead up. This was one of my favorite stories of all time on Netflix right now. Like, this was so fun to watch. I was just mind blown at this guy's tenacity and obsession of how he just wanted to be the best at Price is Right. Like, it is the best thing to watch. The guy's a likable guy too. Like, he's very affable, fun guy to listen to. And, he's just, you walk away from it and you're like, man, I think Ted would probably be cool. So Ted ends up, his last show that he goes to, I believe, he keeps helping people in the audience, and he becomes notorious for the dude, Theodore, as the guy that knows the prices of everything. Very valuable skill set on The Price is Right. So he's shouting it, and then people start to catch on. They're like, hey, Theodore knows, man. Theodore knows all. And even Bob he gets recognized on television for knowing all the prices, and Bob actually acknowledges his existence and is like, hey, Theodore, you're getting pretty good, man. And like, he messes up and he's like, you can't always be perfect, blah, blah, blah. But he does become perfect the last time he visits. And he's helping somebody in the audience. And this dude, which is probably the most difficult part if you've never seen The Price is Right. It's a game show where you just guess the prices of unique household items, and some people win cars and all kinds of stuff. So at the very end of it, after through a whole bunch of trials and games, and whoever comes out on top of spinning the giant wheel and gets the highest amount, that's the highest is $1, they have to go to the Showcase Showdown. And the Showcase Showdown is this estimation of probably 4 to 5 prizes, and whoever gets the amount right of those 4 to 5 prizes between two people, then they get to keep that showcase. Well, Ted spared no expense of getting it correct to the very dollar. And he yelled it to this guy, and they thought they were going to kill Ted. No. They thought that Ted cheated. They thought, since they had transitioned into, Drew became the host of The Price is Right, and they thought there were disgruntled fans that sabotaged the Showcase Showdown and allowed this guy to win. And no, Theodore is he brings his A game every time he goes. And this time he was 100%. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. and he took this one and he nailed it. So I was captivated this entire time. This entire documentary. This is when you know it's real. I followed the director of this on Instagram. That's when you know it's real. On how good it is. And yeah, CJ Wallace. It was great. I mean, it was so fun to watch, and I'm a big fan, so it was just near and dear to my heart. So loved it. I highly recommend you check out The Perfect Bid with Ted Slauson. Yeah, you'll love the guy. So thank you so much. Don't forget to review us on iTunes. That helps the podcast so much. If you want to start your very own blog or podcast, check out the podcast publisher on socialcreative.org. It's SOCIAL creative.org. And you can get all the info that you would ever need in order to start a podcast. Also brought to you by Audible. So check those things out, folks. This was one that I loved. The Perfect Bid. So until next time, folks, thank you so much. Matthew Benjamin with the American Movie Podcast. Bye. Bye.
After all, someone has to pay for the lap dances for the big guy.
He's joking around. Feels so good.